Welcome to Tansson TV Plus. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Mom.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us here today.
Yes, thank you for joining us again.
And Mom, how are you doing today?
I am doing fine, Brandon. I hope you're having a great day.
I am. And Mom, what movie are we speaking about here today?
Today we're going to talk about Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Yes, the Super Mario Bros. Movie came out in 2023, and this one we're speaking about here helps to end off our month focused on video games.
Yes, it is. It is. It's been an interesting month for us.
Yes, it has. And Mom, are you able to let us know what we need to know about this movie?
I will, and Brandon, I'm going to do this in a sentence, which is shocking for me. For this particular movie, Mario and Luigi battle against Bowser.
Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon. Our audience is going to have to watch the movie to see everything that goes on.
Yeah, and so, Mom, so overall, what were your thoughts about the movie? Is it how you expected?
It isn't Brandon. I really didn't know what to expect, and so I thought the movie was fine. Um, I can judge movies by how I fall asleep, and I fell asleep on this one quite a few times. But that just could be me in cartoons. Thank you for waking me up and telling me what was going on. I did have to watch the movie twice. Um, so the movie for me was just okay. And what were your thoughts, Brandon?
I thought the movie was all right. I mean, it is actually kind of what I expected. I mean, I don't know. To me, movies based on existing franchises, especially ones that may be standalone or might start its own universe, yeah, typically to me, they tried to explain everything or show everything in relativity, and I think this one did precisely that and how it portrayed everything. And so, for first viewing, I think it's fine. I did enjoy the movie. Do I need to see it again? Maybe, maybe not, but certainly not within the same week.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, I did make Brandon watch this movie twice in the same week. Yes, it is like you said. I will say this: the world that they created, I thought was kind of fascinating how they did it. That I will give the movie credit for. Everything you could possibly imagine that happens in the Super Mario games that we see in the video games is really what kind of happened in the movie itself, or at least different aspects of it. So that I found amusing.
Yeah, and so it truly is kind of an origin story for Mario.
You're correct. It is an origin story for Mario.
Yeah, and so overall, I mean, what were you expecting going into this movie, and did it meet with those expectations?
I really didn't have any big expectations of the movie. I don't know why, but I wasn't necessarily envisioning as much cartoonish as they portrayed, and that I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. As much. And so, but one thing I did like was I liked the family that they created for Super Mario. That I really liked the way they did that. And I was really surprised about the development of the Princess Peach. That surprised me more than anything because I guess I wasn't expecting her character to be to have as much engagement as she did in the movie, and so that surprised me.
Yeah, I'll say my favorite part, the part that surprised me the most for this movie, is what they did for Princess Peach as well. I mean, at least from my general understanding of the Super Mario franchise, yeah, I mean, having played games, seen other people play games, is that I don't usually see her as a strong character, but I like that the movie made her that while also sticking with what we know about her, which we don't know a lot about her in the video games. But I like that it was able to expand upon that, actually give her a storyline, and that she can stand up for herself.
Yeah, I really, really like that too. And like you said, the brothers, I think it was interesting to watch the brothers. But like I said, I think Princess Peach to me was really the star of the movie.
Absolutely, and I did find some of the I like that the movie took many of these tropes that we know from the Mario franchise and even some of the game series, and sort of just made it a part of the action, like Mario Kart, for instance, that they just made it as a part of how to go find the villains, for instance.
Yeah, yeah, there was so much of that in the movie itself. It did have some humor in the movie. It was some of it was subtle humor, which I like. So, I mean, overall, like I said, if you're watching a movie, kind of like if you're watching it once and you do love the video games, I think you'll enjoy it. I think your brother enjoyed it when he watched it. Like I said, for me, it was just okay.
And I will say something too is that to me, I like that. Yeah, as I was saying before, that it felt faithful um, to the video games, but it was able to have its own spin to things. And I am looking forward to what they're able to do and expand upon this. Now that we've gotten all of the sort of the storytelling out of it, I'd like to see how else they're able to, yeah, hopefully expand this franchise. Like maybe some original stories that are not just lifted sort of from the video game, so to speak.
Uh-huh. Yeah, actually, I hope so too. Of course, my very favorite part was really at the very, very end because everyone who knows me knows I like Yoshi. And so I was happy to see that Yoshi might be the next one that's explored in this franchise if they decide to do it. And so I look forward to actually seeing Yoshi's movie.
Yes, I'm very excited to see Yoshi's movie as well. Hopefully, they'll make one. And actually, I was just looking not that long ago. So, a sequel is expected to release on in April 2026.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Good to know. And Brandon, in rating this, I had a hard time figuring out how to rate this particular movie. Once more, I'm trying to use 1 through 5, with 5 being the greatest. And so I kind of gave this one a 3 minus, um, because it. You're laughing at me because it's a cartoon, but I give it a 3 minus. So just because it was in between for me, but it wasn't horrible. But I don't, for watchability again, I don't know if I'll watch it again. So I guess that's what I thought about. I will say, I do like the world it created. That I did like. And I like the world of the Luigi, of Mario and Luigi. Um, it just, but overall for the movie for me, I would say 3 minus. All right, Brandon, do you have any thoughts? Or would you go higher or lower?
I'd go a little higher. I was debating as to where I would put this, and I was originally debating between maybe like a 3.5 and a 4, but I think I'm going to go with the 3.5. Not so much as a detriment for not going for the 4, but more so because again, it is a story that we're familiar with, and I'd like to see what they could do, like with above and beyond, with yeah, its own sort of story. I like that they were able to bring everything together, um, take a new take on a familiar story, but I would like to see what a new story could do.
Yeah. Yep. I look forward to seeing Yoshi.
Yeah, and I did want to mention to ask too. So, what were your thoughts about the voices and like the personifications of some of the other characters? I know we mentioned Peach a few times, but what were your thoughts about some of the other characters?
For me, it was fine. I didn't imagine the voices to be in certain ways or of any sort. So for me, it was fine. And I know you picked up on something when you were watching it.
Yeah, and so for me, again, even though I'm not much of a video game person, I have at least heard the voice, the few seconds of voices, yeah, of the different characters over the years, and so there were a few times, more so at the beginning and the end, of the movie where I had heard the voice of Charles Martinet, who was the original voice actor um, for both Mario and Luigi, and so I didn't even have to look it up just because I recognized his voice as Mario instantly, as some of the background characters, and as their dad, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yes, you were very quick to let me know about that.
But yeah, and so it was interesting because when we heard his voice, it was sort of before we had established the Mario and Luigi of this movie. And I don't know how it made me feel per se, in the sense of I think it was one thing like when you're at the end of the movie, and you know, because then you're sort of used to it. But as you were saying, like you didn't fully think that certain people were going to sound a certain way. Was that I'm so used to Mario sounding a certain way, so I think it's one thing because this is its own take on it. But when you have the actual original voice speak like right before this version, so it's like, oh well, this is a slight disconnect.
Yeah, yes. I can see how you could think that was a slight disconnect.
But yeah, but mom, is there anything else that you want to mention for this movie?
No, and I think that for kids, I will say this: I think the movie's fine for kids. So you know, to watch it once, I think is fine.
Well, that's definitely good to know. Oh, and we did have one small connection, to my knowledge.
Oh, what's the connection, Brandon?
So the Koopa that does the blue shell during the sort of Mario Kart racing was voiced by Scott Menville, who voices Robin in Teen Titans.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, we thank everybody for joining us again today.
Yes, we are so glad that you joined us for today and for this whole month.
Yes, yes. It has been, like I said, once more an interesting month with the video game connections, and thank you to your brother for bringing it up to us.
Yes, definitely. Thanks to him.
All right, everybody, have a great day.
And we'll see you next time.
All right, bye bye, everybody.